69-yard touchdown run.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships.
The biggest stories from area high school sports. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, here's Hunter Vaughn.
The football season is finally over. 14 weeks of games ended last week, Thursday and Friday at Camp Randall. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, as this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at two convenient Madison service locations, one on Fish Hatchery Road and the other on Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? At Zimbrick Honda, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for how much, Dennis?
$1.
That's right, just $1. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. So Dennis, you were at Camp Randall for all 7 games, just like I was. Just overall takeaways, thoughts from this year's state championship games.
Well, guess what? Right away, the first thing I look for after the games, who's going to get elevated? Next year, West De Pere, Division 2 to 1. Darlington, 6 to 5. Kenosha St. Joseph goes from 7 to 6. Grafton will go from 3 to 2. And by the way, Stratford, they already got promoted once.
Yep.
They get promoted now. They were 6 to 5. Now they go to 4 next year. And then, of course, we've got schools like Aquinas, Badger, Bayport that are already up divisions. Catholic Memorial's a 3. If they would have won, they could have gotten moved up to 2. So,
yep.
And then Notre Dame, they were 2. They're going to stay there. Rice Lake's going to stay there at 2. Wrightstown at 4. So it was like with basketball. I remember at State a couple years ago, right after the game, talking to the coach, he goes, "Well, if we would have won, we're going up a division. Hey, at least the consolation prize was we stay where we are for next year." So that's one of the things I thought about with the football of, okay, how's this going to – every year it's going to change. Like last year, Notre Dame was the defending Division III champ. Oh,
yep.
Other than 2. Oh, they could have done. They could have won 2. Wanakee's won 3 and 2. We're waiting to see when they're going to win 1. So it kind of adds a little bit of fun to the whole mix.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting too as they keep doing this performance factor. This is just the second year that they've had this, where based on past performance within the postseason, schools can be moved up divisions based on that performance. This is really, if we're being honest about it, it's a way to stop the Wisconsin Lutherans of the world in boys basketball from just dominating Division II. Now, granted, they dominated Division I this year.
And that's where they're going to stay for a while.
Yes, they'll be staying there for a while with all of the Knipple boys coming through that program. But it'll be interesting when you talk about, a school like a West De Pere or a school like Stratford. Those are public schools. They don't have what a lot of people say is the advantage of these private schools to keep bringing in this higher level talent. So you could have just a couple year stretch for a school that gives them some really good players. They're a really great school for about 2-3 years, but then because of that, they get bumped up a division and then they struggle with it. So that'll be interesting, I think, for these public schools is how does this performance factor affect them more than what it does the private schools. Like Kenosha St. Joe's, they're going to be fine in Division 6. They're going to probably be at least a level 3, a state semifinal type of team next year. I want to know what happens to the likes of a Stratford or a West De Pere who are going to be affected by this.
Well, you saw Edgar this year get moved up from 7 to 6 and going to 6. That was a big difference when they played Darlington. Darlington came right out, straight down, went right down the field, more bodies. It looked like they were bigger and more physical. And the Coach Zenz had said, we aren't as big as we were in the past, and they were fit for being one of the big dogs in 7. Now you got to go up and play some larger schools. It's going to be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. We're going to be looking back at all 7 state championship games this year, plus we will be talking to the Division I championship head coach, Matt Harris of Arrowhead. He'll be joining us at about 6:30, so we're going to recap that incredible Division I championship game. So you want to stick around for that at 6:30. We'll also have the head coach of Reedsburg, Calvin Zenz, will be joining us. Reedsburg losing in the Division III championship game on a walk-off field goal from Grafton. So we'll be talking to him about that game as well as his Reedsburg Beavers squad. But we're going to start all the way back in Division 7, Kenosha St. Joseph Catholic and Cochrane Fountain City. This was a game where Kenosha St. Joseph Catholic, they won it 35-19. They set a ton of passing records, including a big 62-yard touchdown pass in that game from Kenosha St. Joe's.
Ball's on the near hash. Out of the gun, Rizzo wants to throw. And he will launch it. Left sideline, got a man. Caught! Rinaldi, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Kenosha St. Joe's!
That was the 62-yard touchdown pass from Zach Rizzo to Dominic Rinaldi. That gave them a 35-13 lead at the time. You would get another Cochrane Fountain City touchdown pass in that game to make it the final of 35-19. But Kenosha St. Joe's, Dennis, did you see the number of records that they set passing for the Division 7 game?
Well, you just mentioned Dominic Rinaldi. He had 10 receptions for 177 yards, records. Rizzo, I told you, Zach, this is, by the way, this is the one state champion that I picked. I just picked Kenosha St. Joseph's. I started out 1-0 and went downhill from there. But I really like Rizzo's season, and he came out. And again, this is one of the father-son ones. His dad, Matt, the coach. It was really good to see that. But Zach had 15 of 18 passes, 226 yards. That was the Division 7 finals record. 3 touchdowns. He also had a TD run in that game. It was just phenomenal what they were able to accomplish. And being on the stats crew, we were looking at it going, well, you look at the numbers, you say, are they in a regular season, you see a lot of those happen all the time. State, it's a whole different level, though, when you get there on the big stage. And Zach came through.
Well, and this was such a refreshing Division 7 game from the sense that usually if you follow the state championship games at all regularly, the Division 7 game, typically to wing T offenses, it's going to be very run heavy. You'll be lucky if you get double-digit pass attempts combined in this game. But Kenosha St. Joe's, to their credit, they went out there, they're like, no, we throw the ball, we can pass it. Rizzo went 15 of 18 in that game. Again, that 226 yards, that's a state record for a quarterback in Division 7. The 3 touchdown passes, that is a state record for a team. And as you said, then Dominic Rinaldi, 10 receptions, state record, 177 yards, Division 7 record as well within a game. So it was just really great to kick off the 2 days of state championship games, and you get a bunch of records right away, a very different offense for what we see in Division 7.
Yeah, they were still able to run the ball, though. Chris Canisi, that name was very familiar. His older brother set the state record for most points in a basketball game.
Oh, okay.
Finals. Mom is the athletic director, and the coach you see on the sidelines going nuts. She's just really into it. Anyway, he had 117 yards rushing, and also had 5 tackles and a fumble recovery. So you like to see the smaller schools, a lot of guys going 2 ways and making their impact on both sides, and Chris did. But that was a pretty impressive performance for Kenosha St. Joe's. And like I said, now they could get they're going to go up to 6. They can petition to stay. But most of them, when the WI says you're going up, you're going up. Yeah,
I believe, and I don't have this off the top of my head, I believe there's been 2 instances where schools have been able to stay in their division. It was a cross-country team that was going to get moved up, and they were able to stay, and then I can't remember the other one. It is that's how rare it is, because Dennis went through the list here. You've got every single year probably about 5-6 schools that will get moved up in divisions, and that's across every single sport. So it's very rare for a school to be able to win that petition to be able to stay in their division. As we are recapping our state championship games from the last 2 days, we move on to Division 6 with Edgar and Darlington. And this was a game, Dennis, I got a little bit of flack on social media because of something I said about this Division 6 state tournament when I called it the Edgar Invitational, and said, until Edgar proves me wrong, I'm going to pick them. I'm not picking against Jerry Sins. They end up making it to the championship game, but then they ran into this just monster Darlington squad, and this game really, it got out of hand early, as it was a 21-0 lead at the end of the first quarter with 36 seconds left. Callum Christ had a pick 6 in this game.
Wide receivers split to each side, the back split, and Street's going to throw, being flushed to the near side. The screen is set up, it's picked off on the right side. This is going to the house. Callum Christ, touchdown, Darlington.
Yeah, like I said, 21-0 then to end the first quarter. It's just impossible, I think, for these wing T teams, unless you force a ton of turnovers after that first quarter that Edgar ran into, for them to be able to come back in a game like this. So Darlington ran away with it 42-18. I was really impressed with Darlington after this game.
Yeah, Darlington's had the reputation of being a power team, and in 6, this was a mismatch. They took the kickoff and went literally right down the field and ran it down Edgar's throat and said, with a statement, "We're here. This is where we belong. It's not your division." Yeah, 7 was moving up, and as you look at Edgar had given up 2 touchdowns all regular season. They gave up 42 points in 4 playoff games. They gave up 42 points in this game. So you can see that Darlington was on a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I still think it was impressive for Edgar to get to a state championship game moving up a division, because even when the two teams ran out onto the field for their warm-ups at Camp Randall, the roster size difference. That's the really interesting part of this performance factor situation, is when you see the two schools, when one team has been bumped up. We saw it, and we'll talk more about the Division II game later on, but the roster size difference between Green Bay, Notre Dame, and West De Pere, because you have these bigger schools going up against the smaller schools, but successful smaller schools, so their rosters just aren't quite the same. These teams have been able to compete in that, but that was something that really stood out to me in this D6 game, was just how much of a difference we'll see in roster sizes going forward in some of these championship games. Yeah,
it was. And then you look at that was Darlington's 5th title in 14 appearances, so they had a lot of runner-up finishes. So that, always, what is it? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. And then for Edgar, that was their 16th championship game appearance. Now, they didn't come away with a state title, but it just shows how dominant that program has been. But I really liked, you talk about Christ. He was also a factor on offense. This was another one where you had a lot of good two-way players. And then it was Zeke Zuberbuehler. Is that?
Yes.
Zuberbuehler was dynamic. He had 133 yards rushing, and then passed for 4-7 for 64 yards, and had 4 tackles on defense. So it's like we kept calling some of the same numbers. I was on stats for this one, and I said beforehand, keep an eye on these guys, and sure enough. And then Maverick, but gotta love Maverick.
Yeah.
First name of a football player for Edgar. He did his best. He had 158 yards. Rushing, was also on defense. So it was you look at the Kenosha St. Joe's and right into the Darlington game. This one looked like it was going to be close to maybe a running clock game.
Yep.
But Edgar, you saw, came out and said, not going to happen on our watch. And they played hard all the way through. So this was a game where both teams deserved to be there, but Darlington was the better program on this night.
They definitely were. We're recapping all 7 state championship games here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. If you're interested in getting individual or group lessons from some of the highest level of coaching for the baseball player in your life, GRB Academy offers individual and group lessons for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit grbacademy.com for more information. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly on ESPN Madison and on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. I've mentioned it a ton on this program, and I'm going to say it again. If you haven't yet subscribed to the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon so you get notified every time that we go live. Right now, I'm going to tell all of the fans, we're only 17 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers for our channel. Would love to be able to hit that while we're on the show. So please, if you're watching this or you're listening on the radio, get over to YouTube unless you're driving. Put your phone away while you're driving. But hit that subscribe button. We'd love to be able to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the day. Again, we're just 17 away, so please hit that subscribe button for us. When we come back, we're going to recap the Division 5 and Division 4 championship games. Plus, again, we will have the head coach of the Arrowhead Warhawks and the state champion Warhawks, Matt Harris, will join us coming up at 6:30. All of that and more coming up on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Hear that creaking? That's not the cold Madison wind or your holiday decorations. It's your joints reminding you the year's almost over. At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, you can use your end-of-year health benefits before they disappear. From an achy back and stiff hips to those knees that aren't bending like they used to, they've got you covered with same-day appointments and walk-ins welcome. Head to their location just off the Beltline whenever you need. Don't wait, your benefits won't roll over, but you can roll right into Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin today.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
The holidays bring sparkle and light to the season. The same way Goodman's Jewelers has been bringing the sparkle with our custom pieces since 1933. Generations have relied on our trust, service, and selection. This holiday, shop local. Shop Goodman's Jewelers in the heart of Madison, touching hearts with Goodman's sparkle and light. 220 State Street. Find our extended holiday hours at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Celebrate the holiday season at the restaurant that won gold in Best of Madison. Enjoy seasonal dishes, handcrafted cocktails, and hospitality that makes every visit special. Planning your holiday party? They'll help you host a celebration that everyone will remember. Don't wait. Make a reservation today to secure your spot this season. Visit their locations in Sun Prairie, Monona, Wanakee, or Mount Horeb and enjoy holiday cheer with great food and great company. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
It's our final Wisconsin College game day of the season as the Badgers travel to Minnesota to recapture the Axe. Join myself and Corey Sparks live at Monks and Middleton immediately following the final whistle as we break down everything from the border battle and hopefully a happy conclusion to an otherwise disappointing season. Wisconsin, Minnesota. It's the final ESPN Wisconsin College game day postgame show brewed by Coors Light live from Monks and Middleton. We hope to see you there.
We're on the Packers.
This felt more like the team that we saw in weeks 1 and 2.
Because we're on Wisconsin Sports.
This was the defense that we know and love. This is the defense that can win you a championship.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
This is Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the man, the myth, the legend, the dean of area high school sports, Dennis Semrau. We're also brought to you by Gruber Law Offices, and they have a reputation for winning. Their experienced, powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until they win your case. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. One call, Dennis.
That's all.
That's right. We're recapping all 7 of the state championship games here on Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We just finished up Divisions 7 and 6. We're now on to Division 5 and Division 4 in this segment. Again, a little bit later on, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Arrowhead Warhawks, Matt Harris, coming off of his Division 1 championship victory. And we will talk to, at 7:15, the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, who fell short to Grafton in the Division 3 championship game. But this Division 5 one, the Mayville Cardinals getting a 42-35 win in this game. This is a game, I said it a few times over the 2 days of state, that this is a game you show fans if anybody ever tells you that the wing T can't score. I mean, 42-32 to 35, excuse me. Or no, 32.
32.
42-32. I wrote down 35 on my paper on accident. 42-32. That's 74 combined points. Second most in a Division 5 championship game. The 6th most points all time in a championship game. And it came in Division 5, 2 wing T teams between Mayville and Northwestern. It was a back and forth game, but then early in the fourth quarter, JT Promersberger had a 58-yard touchdown that made it a 2-score game.
Quick motion handoff. Here's the carry with a lot of running room. Promersberger turns it upfield, turns on the Jets, and takes it the distance. Touchdown, Mayville. Gold ball in sight.
And that would take them all the way to a gold ball again with a 42-32 victory. So awesome for Mayville. I mean, Dennis, I'll let you talk about it, but the great story with their head coach.
Yeah, it's well, first of all, I want to talk about how this game got started. Mayville had a blocked punt for a touchdown.
Yep.
And what happened on the ensuing kickoff?
Went 85 yards for a touchdown.
Actually, 90 yards by Anthony Kalor. And
well, the official stats say 85, Dennis. You're the statistician here.
But Todd typed in his notes as 90.
Oh,
we got to double check that one. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Then any other no other thoughts? Just those 2 kicks. That was my big one, because at that point we're going, okay, what's happened so far? Where's your bingo card? We never got our safety through 7 games.
It's true,
but
we talked about a punt return, a kickoff return, a block kick. We had a fumble. We had long pass plays, 80-yard run, Division 4 game. That was pretty much it. It was great.
Yeah, and the story I was referring to was Mayville's head coach. His father was the head coach in 1994 when Mayville won the state title, and then that was the last time that Mayville had won a gold ball. They had a couple of silver balls in there, but never getting the gold ball, and then Mayville winning it in 2025.
And they've only won 2. And I talked to I was over at Middleton boys basketball practice yesterday. Tim Simon's a Mayville guy. He was really happy about that. Cardinals, true, right?
Middleton exactly.
Mayville Cardinals.
Cardinals support each other.
So there were 2 titles, so his father's son. His coaches got it. But and I was more focused on the fathers coaching their kids in the games. And there's one of a father, the grandfather, right? Ever say it.
Yeah, and that was head coach Scott Hilber winning that title for Mayville in Division 5, again, 42-32 over Northwestern. And then the game of the day almost maybe could have been the game of the tournament, as the in Division 4, the Winneconne Wolves playing Little Chute. This was a rematch of a Week 1 game that Winneconne won. The Wolves were down 22-13 with 2:25 left in the game. Left in the third quarter. They would then score 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win 28-22. One of those two scores was a 9-yard touchdown pass from Brody Schaefer to Carter Hawthorne.
Schaefer takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He's rolling out to his right. He's got a man wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Winnicott. It's Carter Hawthorne for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and Dennis, this was a game where afterwards it made me frustrated as a Badger fan because of the fact that Brody Schaefer, the quarterback for Winnicott,
I was just going to say, is going to Iowa.
Exactly. He's going to Iowa, leads this awesome comeback, was just showing all of the great intangibles he has, his great athleticism, and he's going to be he is the number one player in the state for 247, and he's going to go play wide receiver for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, all he did was throw for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns on 11 of 16, ran for 123 yards on 22 carries, intercepted a pass, had tackles, and had 69 kickoff return yards. I think he probably brought the Gatorade out at halftime to give each of his teammates a bottle and make sure they were all in a good frame of mind. He finished his senior year with 1,883 yards and 20 touchdowns passing, and then 1,198 yards and 23 yards rushing. 6 interceptions on defense, 2 pick sixes, 2 kick return touchdowns, and a punt return score. This is my idea of a most valuable player. And we used to have, when we had the Associated Press, when the papers dropped AP, 2 years ago was the last time we had an AP All-State team. We had created 2 extra positions on the first team and on the second team for small school guys that just did what Brody did. They never left the field. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't have 2,000 yards rushing or 1,500 yards passing or whatever, but you look at what he did for his team. But the comeback is what he'll remember most, that 15-0 run.
Absolutely, as again the Winnicott Wolves winning the Division IV championship game 28-22, coming back, scoring 15 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to get the second gold ball in Winnicott history. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We're also brought to you by Stoughton Health. They've been providing trusted care close to home, and they are proud to support the student athletes from around the area. From rehab to ortho care, Stoughton Health provides comfort and convenience locally. Visit stoughtonhealth.com to learn more today. After the break, we're going to jump ahead to Division I as we'll be joined by the head coach of the Division I championship, Arrowhead Warhawks, who had an 18-15 win over Bayport in the Division I championship game. If you didn't get a chance to see this game or hear it on the ESPN Wisconsin app on YouTube as well, we're going to go back through the final 46-ish seconds of this game with head coach Matt Harris, find out what was going through his mind with this, as well as then his reaction to winning his first gold ball as a head coach, the 7th in Arrowhead history. That's coming up next here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
More of Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly coming up next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fitch Hatchery Road and lease a 2026 Honda CR-V EXL for as low as $385 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Every team needs captains and playmakers, and Madison and Dane County Pizza Hut locations are looking for both. They're hiring managers to lead the crew and drivers to deliver big wins and pizzas. Find part-time or full-time roles with flexible hours, plus full benefits for those who work 30 or more hours per week. Whether it's running the huddle or making plays on the road, there's a spot at Pizza Hut for you. Apply today at jobs.pizzahut.com. That's jobs.pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Henningsen with Stoughton Health Ortho Team Clinic. I specialize in joint pain and joint pain surgery, specifically hip and knee replacement, including second-time surgery for hip and knee replacement. If joint pain or an injury is slowing you down, you don't have to live with it. We are here to help at Stoughton Health. Come in and we can talk to you about different techniques in order to get you back to doing what you want to do, whether it be walking the dog, going to work, or even playing outside with your kids. We want you to be able to do these things without pain.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
I worried about starting over. I knew I was interested in IT, specifically the cloud program, but I didn't have any technical training in that field. Now, at Madison College, I'm surprising myself. I really love the atmosphere of this campus, and my instructors make learning hands-on and engaging. My advice to others? Don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. There's more to your story at Madison College. Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's early Black Friday deals have arrived, in-store and online while supplies last. Right now, shop early Black Friday-like savings store-wide on the things you need and the brands you love. Like up to 60% off select dog beds, just $9.99. 20-pound bags of KT Nut and Fruit Blend bird food, only $29.99. Rewards members save an extra $5. And all men's Carhartt work boots are 25% off. Don't miss early Black Friday deals in-store and online only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Score the top gifts for the Brewers fan in your life this holiday season. Set them up for an epic 2026 season with the all-new Brewers Holiday Bundle, featuring 4 ticket vouchers, loaded value concession credits, and an exclusive Brewers Holiday ornament, starting at just $99. Finish shopping for even the youngest Brewers fans with the 2026 Kids Crew Kit, including one-of-a-kind Brewers merch, 6 ticket vouchers, a ballpark tour, and more, all for just $35. Grab every Brewers Holiday gift today at brewers.com.
ESPN Madison is your home for Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Back to the Badgers, right side. There's Alicia Andrew finishing the first set on the slide.
From early season showdowns to a run for the national title. Hear every match this season on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Left side, Collier, a no-doubter. She gets another one.
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball on ESPN Madison is presented by Steinhoffels and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also brought to you by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, you know, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
And not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
Packers, Lions, Thanksgiving. Get ready for kickoff and react immediately after the final whistle with Green Bay Game Day and Game Night right here on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly continues on. I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. We're now joined by the head coach of the Division I state champion Arrowhead Warhawks, Matt Harris. Matt, thank you for joining us again.
Appreciate you guys. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again as well. So, Coach, we're going to start with this by going back through recapping this game with you. We're going to do it in a little bit of a different way instead of just kind of going through and listing off the plays that happened. We went through and pulled some of the moments from our broadcasts of the game, and we want to just kind of go through chronologically and let us know what you were thinking, what you were talking about on the sideline with your team as kind of everything was unfolding in the final minute or so of this game, okay?
Perfect.
All right, so you guys have a 6-0 lead at the half in this game, and then Bayport ends up taking a lead here. You guys have a 12-7 lead, but then Bayport scores to make it 15-12 on an 11-yard Brady Moon touchdown, and this was, for those that missed it, how it sounded on the broadcast.
It's a push pass to Moon to the left. Moon at the 10, the 5, reaching for the end zone. Touchdown Bayport. 46 seconds to go, and the Bayport Pirates retake the lead 13-12.
So you guys are down now after that touchdown. What were you guys talking about with just 46 seconds left?
I mean, first off, I was, we still had 3 timeouts left, so I still felt pretty comfortable. Like, I feel like our offensive coordinator is really good in the 2-minute drill, and with 2 minutes left, I was still really positive. I still had a really good feeling, and also I trusted our kicker, even though he struggled in the game. I knew he'd come through if we needed him to. But one thing that we'd kind of waited all week, we wanted to get a kick return, But I watched some interviews on Coach Jorgensen from some of their Bayport YouTube highlights or whatever, and one thing he said on there was that he hates kicking deep to returners. So I had watched all their kickoffs, obviously, all season long, and I saw they either onside kicked, they either did that exact squib kick that they did against us, or they would kick it deep. So I kind of crossed the kick it deep out because based on listening to his philosophies, I didn't think he was going to take a chance. I thought maybe he'd try to onside it again and just give us the ball at the 50 or whatever and take his chances. But, I told the kids, I said, okay, they have one other kick in their repertoire. And Ryan Hyman and I had talked about this the Thursday night before. I actually have a phone message to him that I saved that I said, hey, if this thing gets back to you, no matter what you do, sprint to the other side of the field. Don't try to, hammer it up the middle. It's nothing's there. So we talked about that. Those TV timeouts are long, and that's why I just looked at him and I said, guys, if they squib this thing, let it get back to Ryan, and let's just see what happens.
Well, and then you set that up perfectly. This is what happened.
40, the 35, the 40.
He's gone!
It's a foot race for Hyman at the 40, the 30, the 20. He's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Arrowhead Warhawks. With 35 seconds left, there's no flags on the field.
So at what point in that return, because, you heard Dennis in that say he's gone almost as soon as he touched the ball. When did you know, oh, okay, he's got this thing?
I knew when he got to the left side of the field that, he was going to have a chance. And just the angles of which their kickoff team was running, I was like, man, he's just got to get past this first level, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him. And sure enough, he almost got clipped a little bit, but he stayed on his feet. Once he landed that, I knew he was gone. I just know how fast he is, and there's nobody that was going to catch him once he landed on his feet.
You could see the dive. I could see the player making an attempt going, if he gets past this one with sprinter speed, just keep your balance. And when he hit it, I was like, no way. This is a state track champion. This is what you live for. And he had only had one catch for 8 yards, I think, coming in. So you talk about saving your best for last. I said this before. Now, he's under 21, so we're not talking drink, we're talking soda. But he should not have to buy a beverage the rest of his life. Will you agree, Coach?
Yeah.
He's getting treated.
Yeah, I don't think he should. I think he should be grandfathered in the town of Heartland. So.
Well, and then your defense still had to make a stop because you scored that touchdown with 35 seconds left. Bayport gets the ball all the way down. Thought they might try and go for a field goal, but instead, Coach Jorgensen, as he has been as a coach, very aggressive, goes for the win. And then this was the final play of the game.
Stevens sprint out to the left, looking to throw, pumps, still looking, dancing around, pressure coming, throws into the end zone, and it is incomplete. There are no flags on the field. The Arrowhead Warhawks are back on top of the Division I mountain.
So on that play, they sprint out Stevens in that. Is that what you guys expected? What were you guys planning for kind of going into that play?
Just not what we expected, I'll tell you that. I didn't expect a sprint out that direction, per se. You just don't know. They're so good offensively, and they have so many tricks up their sleeves. And, so we just tried to play our base and we knew we kind of had an advantage because we didn't think they were going to run the ball, so we knew we could stay in cover. So we were in a too high man type of look, and we knew that okay, as long as we keep him in the pocket, or we figured he was going to throw, as long as we should get pressure, and we were hoping to get a sack and finish it right there. But then he rolled out and made some fancy moves, and it just held up. It just held up. I don't think that we had a clue what they were doing, but our kids are coached so well, and they had everything locked up, and I think if they would have had that same play to his right, if you notice the arrow route coming out, like I think he would have hit that, but I don't think he could flip his hips around to make that throw. So, he hesitated a little bit, and that was just enough for our guys to get some pressure and make a play and watch that thing hit the ground.
Well, and then you guys win the state championship, your 7th in program history, your first as the head coach here for Arrowhead. Does that feel now like a weight lifted off your shoulders? Because when we talked to you going into the semifinals, you said that, hey, the expectation at this school isn't just to get to Camp Randall, it is to win state championships.
Yeah, it really is it shouldn't be, right? Like it should be super, super exciting and joyful, and and it is all those things. But whether you want to or not, it's the pressure is there, and when you're able to finish it off like this, and kind of put our program in the same lights as the great ones in the past, and it really is gratifying, and I'm really proud of the kids, our coaches, and a lot of these coaches came with me from Waukesha North, and there was a time that people didn't think we were the greatest coaches, and we've battled through that, and I thought about those things, like all these guys who have been battling for some respect in the coaching world, and now it's like finally, and also to have the kids there and the school back there, and I mean the whole town has been a buzz since that moment, and this was always my vision when I came to Arrowhead was to do positive things to affect not only the football program but all the athletic programs, because I feel like success is contagious, and I really believe that this will really spark us as a school moving forward.
Well, I was on the call for the game 10 years ago against Kimberly, and I'm sure this kind of erases a few demons for those and people around the program that were part of that.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, Johnny Duranzo, who's the quarterback in that game, is on our staff. He's on my headset during the game, and even during that last 46 seconds, he told me, he said, when we were here at this moment, he's like, I felt like our sideline was already defeated. And right now, he's like, I really believe we're going to win. And he's like, because the sideline felt like they were going to win. And he felt like 10 years ago, it didn't have that same feeling. So that was, and that's probably a tribute to our schedule, all the teams we play. And, a lot of us have said, those teams were great. They were obviously powerhouses back then, but none of them went through the rigorous schedule that we did, without a doubt. And every one of those old timers will tell you the same thing. We played 7 top 3 ranked teams in the state or something like that throughout the season, and so we're really proud. We're really proud of the group, and we think we cemented our name in there, and now we're a part of the history of Arrowhead, and we're really excited about that.
Well, you were 6-1 in games decided by a touchdown or less. So right away that says you were battle tested. What was the ride back and just the whole experience once you left Camp Randall?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously amazing on the bus. The kids were ecstatic, and when we pulled back right before the border of Heartland, I'm telling you, there must have been 30 emergency vehicles waiting for us to get there, and I looked, and we turned right onto a street, and it was like, oh my goodness, there was police and fire trucks everywhere, and they took us probably another 3 miles into the town. They drove us through the town, and then we got to school, and there was a couple hundred, half the stands that were at the game. And, Terry Beal was sitting next to me. He's my D coordinator, and he's been to a few of these, and he's like, I've never been a part of anything like this, like a small town feel where like it was really, really cool and a moment I'll never forget. And, a couple weeks I'll try to start replicating, I guess.
Well, I was just going to ask, when do you then turn the page to next year and like get these guys that are coming back? Like, this is a really awesome thing for them, so you want them to obviously savor it. But like, when do you start saying like, hey, next year, let's go back to back?
Yeah. I mean, we still have our banquet. I probably after our banquet, it's December 14th or something like that. And, right now, like I have already once put up a new depth chart. I got to work on Monday and I'm like, all right, let me see who's coming back, because I haven't really thought about it. But, man, it's such a long season with the new WIAA rules. And, when we started in June, and I mean, it's almost 6 months of time. My coaches are exhausted. I think the players are exhausted because it's a long time. And, so mentally, I think I'm trying to shut down probably through Thanksgiving here and then and just enjoy this moment and try to, relive it as much as I can these next few days. And I have the trophy. It's going to be my centerpiece for Thanksgiving. So you're not getting it back till after Thanksgiving and maybe even Christmas if I'm lucky. So, but yeah, not until, a few weeks. I'm just not ready yet, so.
Well, I wanted to ask you about two guys in particular. First of all, Hughes, hurt most of the year, able to come back, and 4 catches, 80 yards, made an impact. But Jacob Seiner, who's been out with an injury, he came back, he had some carries. What was it like for you to see those two guys get to play in that state championship game after all they've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, Jacob first, like we've watched him fight through these last few weeks, and like he got over an ankle sprain, and then he had a nice long run against Sussex, and all of a sudden I see him grabbing his hamstring, and it's like, man, this kid just can't catch a break. I mean, he's had an amazing career, and but like to see him out there was really cool, and he is really truly one of the best teammates. And like I think he took a lot of pride in Jabari and Devin having such an amazing few games there, and like he was he was the one who dumped the Gatorade on me at the end of the game. Like that's how involved he is, even though he knows he can't. I looked him in the eyes before the game, and I could tell he wasn't 100%. But it's like, you know what, this kid deserves a couple snaps, and if it costs us, that would be hard. But it didn't. I mean, he did fumble once, but he had a couple good carries and he got on the field, and I think all the memories of his time here will be great. And Harper Hughes, like, man, it was just, he had a tough go at it this year, and it was nice to see, like, there's the Harper that we know, and making those plays and seeing all those things. So it was just fantastic, and I could just see him light up, because that's all he wants to do is make plays for his teammates and do those things. And I think it was like, finally, I'm back. It only took till week 14, but he was back.
One last question for you, Coach. As you think back on the 14 weeks that were the game portion of this season, and even all the way, like you mentioned, back to June when you were doing some of your contact days and early things in the summer, what is something, though, about this team that it didn't take place between the sidelines or on the field, but that you're the most proud of from this version of the Arrowhead team?
I would just think, like, they're, like a lot of teams talk about being together and family and all those types of things. And, like we have a melting pot of different kids. We have kids from downtown Milwaukee that open and roll. We have kids from all over the towns, all over the area. We have tons of Heartland kids, and, and they're all different. They're all different, but yet, like, they're all so close, and the togetherness, like, outside of football, inside of football, and all of those things. Like, that's what I'm going to remember the most. I said that in another interview. I said, like, the thing I'm most excited about is by winning and putting that banner up, we're always going to be connected, because like I felt like this was a group that really, really was together, and they were like the epitome of it. And so that's what I'm the most proud of.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Coach. And again, congratulations on winning the Division I state championship.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, and can't wait till next year. Let's make a regular visit here.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you not having you on the show next week. Yeah. So happy holidays, Coach, and again, congrats on just an outstanding season.
Awesome. Hope to see you at a track meet, Dennis.
You bet. You count on it.
All right.
Again, that was the head coach of the Arrowhead Warhawks, Matt Harris, winning the Division I state championship. Again, the 7th in the school's history. His first as the head coach of the Arrowhead Warhawks.
And first 10 years, and like you said, that Kimberly game was one for the ages, with Kimberly coming back and being able to pull it out. And you have the bar set at different heights, depending on what program you are. Locally, Wanakee, Sun Prairie East. Now Verona's starting to get up in that area where they don't accept anything other than the state championship run.
Yep.
And for Arrowhead and for Coach Harris, I really think that the semifinal win over Wanakee possibly could have saved his job.
Yeah.
Because even though they've done a great job getting there, you get people that always got to gripe about something. And this is high school sports. And I think what he summed it up by saying how close this was, that's what high school sports are about. Getting a bunch of guys together, figuring out what do we got to do, get on the same page, and have fun. And for the parents, they're only this age for so long. Don't sweat the little stuff. Just look at the big picture, and their big picture was getting to Camp Randall, and, boy, they deserved it. You look at they took advantage of turnovers. The kicking game we raved about wasn't quite as good, missed a couple field goals.
I think the special teams unit as a whole.
I mean, that was it. And we talk about offense, defense, special teams, and when it came to our tournament run, we really saw some great special teams play. And that was through all the 7 games we had. They were just not just on the returns, but on the defense that was played on those.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this Arrowhead team, you mentioned win the turnover battle was the first key that Coach Harris gave you in both the semifinal and then this championship game. And win the special teams battle was the other one. Also, win the explosive play battle. They had a 76-yard kick return. That's an explosive play. They won that battle. The special teams, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown. They won that battle, even with missed extra points, even with missed field goals. And then, of course, winning the turnover battle, they were 4-1. The turnover ratio in this game. I mean, honestly, if they don't get all 4 of those turnovers, I don't know if they win this game, because Bayport was able to move the ball. I mean, we can sit here and we look at some of the numbers on this game. I was looking at time of possession. They break it down by quarter within this game. Bayport only had a 7-minute advantage, which is still, I mean, that's nearly over a half a quarter in time of possession. But in the fourth quarter, Bayport held the ball for 8-13 in the fourth quarter of that game. These are 12-minute quarters. They held it for 8 minutes of that quarter, but they get outscored 12-8 in the quarter.
Yeah,
it's just those turnovers.
347 yards to 198, but 347. That's the bend up, but don't break. But again, it came down to answer, and then they had an answer. Anything you can do,
I can do better.
And they did at the end.
For those that don't watch any of our games, I make Dennis sing that especially in our basketball season. For our producer, Owen Dimfel, this will be your first basketball season coming up here. If one team hits a 3 or gets a dunk and then the other one answers with the same thing, Dennis and I go into a little bit of a musical number during the broadcast. So you have that to look forward to this winter.
That goes back to my buddy over there in Milwaukee, Strophe.
Yeah, Strofe started that. I had to keep that alive.
Yes. Now you're making me do it. So.
Well, of course. I'm not going to sing. Nobody needs to hear that. This is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Again, coming up at 7:15, we have Calvin Zenz, the head coach of Reedsburg. We'll still recap the Division II as well as the Division III championship games. And then, too, like I mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit of high school basketball as that starts gearing up now with boys practicing. We've had some girls' games. This is the opening night of boys basketball. So we'll start getting towards that. Again, if you missed the first segment of the show, please hit that subscribe button. We are now just 16 subscribers away from 10,000 subscribers as a challenge. So smash that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon for notifications so you know when we go live as a channel every single time. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers as a challenge. Help us out. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't already. When we come back, we'll hear from our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, one from earlier on in the season. So you won't want to miss that. Plus Calvin Zenz, the head coach of Reedsburg, coming up a little bit later on here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
The team at Midwest Financial Group are values-based financial specialists that offer full-service financial solutions. This local independent firm has been dedicated to helping people achieve their financial, tax, and insurance goals for over 30 years. Visit mfgteam.com to learn more about how they can help set up your future for financial success. Advisory service is offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, a registered investment advisor.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. Looking for new windows and doors? Visit sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
The holidays bring sparkle and light to the season. The same way Goodman's Jewelers has been bringing the sparkle with our custom pieces since 1933. Generations have relied on our trust, service, and selection. This holiday, shop local. Shop Goodman's Jewelers in the heart of Madison, touching hearts with Goodman's sparkle and light. 220 State Street. Find our extended holiday hours at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Looking to buy your next home or ready to sell and move on to bigger and better things? What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Don't be left out in the cold this season. Let's get housed. Nobody knows what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
We're on the Badgers.
As long as they get the job done, it doesn't have to be pretty. That's what Wisconsin football is, if you ask me.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Today was not an ugly win. It was a beautiful win, though.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Continuing on Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. It's now the portion of the program where we hear from our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. Because of the holiday this week, we don't have a new student athlete, so we thought we would go back to one of the student athletes of the week from earlier in the season. So you'll hear from a future Wisconsin Badger, McCoy Smith of Waunakee High School, is this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week. Oh my goodness.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, McCoy Smith, Waunakee High School. Welcome.
Thank you.
3-sport athlete. You did track for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And you're state wrestler.
Yep.
And in football, you got to go to the Cole Center twice and Camp Randall. That's got to be pretty awesome for a high school student.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Like, you know, you look up at Camp Randall, you look up on like the third deck and you see all your family up there and everything. And like the big stadium, if something happens, really cool because like the whole crowd will get into it, and definitely a lot of fun.
You're being recruited, and you're looking to play college, and you find out the Badgers have camp and they want you to play fullback.
Yeah.
You've never done fullback before. How do you prepare for something like that? How did it work for you?
I really had no idea what was going to be going on going in, but I had my head coach, Coach Graver, and some other coaches. They came out to the field, they helped me out, like showed me how to get in a fullback stance, just so I knew a little bit of what I was supposed to do, and then kind of winged it, and it went well.
Other activities you're involved in, a lot in school.
Yeah, so we got NHS, DECA, FCA, or I should say,
Fellowship.
Fellowship Christian Athletes, and then, just like clubs like that pretty much.
You've done some youth coaching too?
Yeah, so we had like passing league and kind of anything to help out the kids, and then sometimes like I know my girlfriend's little brother's in the program, so I went out here a few times with him, give him a few pointers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure those guys look up, wow, this is a high school guy, and Friday nights. What was it like when you were growing up here? Did you have a guy that you kind of emulated, or did you watch the games, or were you just kind of like running around playing football behind the bleachers?
A little bit of both. I mean, there's definitely some names that'll stick with me, for sure. I mean, it was definitely cool. Like you see, and then you'd like see them walking around town sometimes, and it's kind of cool just to see them. At least when I was young, because like those were like my heroes or whatever at the time.
When you look back on your time here at Waunakee, you still got your senior year, but what do you think you remember most about the school, the community?
I'll definitely just remember like about the school and the community. I mean, the one thing I'll take with me is walking out on a game day. I know it's not as much to do with the school, but you walk out and you have the whole town backing you, and just like that feeling of everyone here to support you, walking out on Warrior Stadium. And then also, like, something I'll take with me from the school is how nice everybody is, and like the teachers and that kind of thing.
So Warrior for life?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, McCoy Smith, Waunakee High School. McCoy, have a great senior year.
Thank you.
Again, that was McCoy Smith, one of our UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week. We will have those going through the winter and the spring as well, so follow all of our social media accounts to be able to see those throughout the year, and we'll be playing them on Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We still have another hour of the program to go. We have to recap the Division II and Division III state championship games, plus Dennis and I will start to look ahead to the high school basketball season coming up in hour 2 as as this is Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly, and Zenz Honda's been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Browse their car selection online at ZenbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zenz Honda. Hour 2 of Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly starts in 2 minutes.
Keep your bones strong and reduce your risk of fractures. Join Joseph Henningsen, orthopedic surgeon in Stoughton Health's Ortho Team Clinic, for a free online talk. Stronger bones, fewer breaks. What you can do to protect your bone health. Hear insights from the American Orthopedic Association's Own the Bone initiative and discover how to keep your bones strong as you age. It's happening Tuesday, December 2nd from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register at stoughtonhealth.com under classes and events.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zenz Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zenz Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zenz Honda.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
This holiday season, gift more Badger action for less with Wisconsin Athletics Black Friday deals. Starting Tuesday, November 25th, lock in major savings on select men's basketball, men's hockey, women's basketball, and wrestling tickets until Monday, December 1st. From hard-fought games to can't-miss moments, give the gift of Wisconsin tradition and Badger pride. Visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS to explore all Wisconsin Athletics Black Friday deals.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
The biggest moments.
One man to beat up the right sideline.
See ya, baby.
99-yard touchdown run.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships.
The biggest stories from area high school sports. This is Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Alongside the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau, here's Hunter Vaughn.
Hour 2 of Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly. I'm Hunter Vaughn. Here with me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. We're recapping the state championship games that took place throughout Thursday and Friday at Camp Randall. We're also brought to you by Pizza Hut, and here's the winning play of the season. Pizza Hut's Triple Treat Box is back. 2 medium pizzas, breadsticks, and a dessert starting at just $19.99. Feed your crew before the game, after the game, or while you watch. The Triple Treat Box, only at Pizza Hut. Order now at pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut, the official pizza of PrepMania. So, Dennis, we're now on to our Division II championship game. This was a game that you were on the call for with Riley Yauk between West Appear and Green Bay Notre Dame. And this was a tale of 2 very different offensive styles. You have West Appear. They throw the ball a bunch. They've got the best quarterback in the state, Patrick Greisen. On the other side, Green Bay Notre Dame, a Division III school, bumping up because of performance factors to Division II this year. And they hadn't even thrown the ball 100 times all season. Patrick Greisen threw 100 touchdowns over the last 2 years, and they just love to run the ball, does Green Bay Notre Dame. And it was a really interesting one that we thought was going to turn into an offensive shootout, and early on in the game it was, as we had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter of the game. It was a 14-7 lead for West Appear in that one. They ended up then at the half, it was 21-14 after a 60-yard touchdown pass from Patrick Greisen.
Bryson back to throw, zings it over the middle, got his man, that's Niskern, inside the 20, 15, sheds a tackle, he's gone.
Wow.
Touchdown, West De Pere.
And that 60-yard touchdown pass to early on in that second quarter, I was up in the booth with you guys. I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, geez, we're going to see a ridiculous number of points here. We only saw one more score, and that was in the fourth quarter.
The jinx, the broadcast jinx. We're going, wow, this is the shootout we were hoping for, the pass and run. But then both defenses, and we also said in the pregame that as many points as both these offenses put up, we thought the defenses were a little bit unsung. So once they kind of figured things out and hung, pretty much got down, it was a grinded out kind of game. And then just West De Pere getting one more touchdown to get that 2-score lead. It made it really difficult for Notre Dame. And also Kingston Allen went out with an injury, missed the last couple of series. And that took some life. You could almost see the air just go out of the sidelines there for the Tritons.
Well, and you think about what Kingston Allen could have done in this game, given the fact that he ran the ball 43 times for Notre Dame, 242 yards he gained. He netted 231, had 2 touchdowns in this game, so averaging over 5 yards per carry in the game. Just an awesome offensive performance for him. I mean, Patrick Greisen, too, had a great performance on the other side for West De Pere, 16 of 21, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, that 60-yard touchdown pass. Like, this was still a really great offensive performance, but like you said, the defenses just kind of figured things out, and that's something we sometimes will see in these championship games, right, Dennis, where it's like the offenses might get going early on, but then the defenses kind of settle in, they figure things out, they realize, oh, okay, this is what they're going to do to attack us, and then all of a sudden it'll feel like the game comes to a more screeching halt, when in reality it's the adjustments that these defenses and the coaches are able to make throughout the game.
Yeah, we still had a couple of records. Greisen set the Division II championship game record for passing yards, 304, and then also you had rushing attempts, the 43 for Allen was the record. No 400 yards like Christian had last year.
Yeah.
But then take a look at what Allen was able to do. He finishes the season with a record 3,436 yards and 57 rushing touchdowns. Nobody had ever done that before.
Wow.
He's a junior, guys.
And I failed to mention, this was a battle between co-offensive players of the year for the state.
For the Coaches Association. Yep. Right, and then we know Patrick Greisen's going to South Dakota, and Wisconsin offered Allen recently.
Yep.
So he's still got another year to go. We'll see where he can go, and Niskin's going to play somewhere too. He had 7 passes caught for 164 yards. That 60-yarder, we could just see once he got in the clear, that was the big play guy, and he and Greisen were on the same page all year long. So it was phenomenal. West De Pere was their 3rd title and their 6th appearance. Notre Dame, well, sorry, they couldn't repeat. After winning 3, they couldn't win 2, but they'll be back next year.
And that's been back-to-back years that's happened in this Division II title game, by the way. Rice Lake winning Division III. They move up to Division II. They lose to Slinger in Division II last year. Now this year, Green Bay Notre Dame wins Division III, move up to 2. They're in a good game, but can't win Division II. So that's also an interesting thing as we kind of watch, as we talked about early with the performance factors, is what happens once these schools actually get up a division? Do they win? Do they do what Wisconsin Lutheran was able to do in boys basketball and still win up a division, or do we see a lot of these teams fail to win championships or make deep runs once they've moved up a division? So far, they've made the deep runs, but we haven't seen teams winning we won it in the lower division, now we win it in that higher one.
Yeah, and it's tough because they put the performance factor in, but every once in a while you get a good group of guys that come through. We're going to talk to Reedsburg coach, the group of seniors where they didn't win when they were in 8th grade or when they were freshmen. They got called up to varsity a little bit early by the time they got to senior year. That's a group. Now, do you move them up next year? Or if they get one more, and maybe that next group coming back is not quite as talented, now they have to pay for the sins of the success. But I think the performance factor, though, was put in for like a Wisconsin Lutheran. They are Division I. Catholic Memorial, there were years that we thought they could have won Division I when they were in 4. One year they got dropped down to 4, and we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They're going to roll through this, and they did. But you're trying, just like with the Matrix this year.
Yep.
As long as you're trying to make the game better and give more teams opportunities, that's what you want.
Absolutely is. We'll take another break. When we come back, we will be joined, as Dennis said, by the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, as his Beavers were playing in the Division III championship game against Grafton back on Friday. We'll be back and talk to the head coach of Reedsburg next here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973. They're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether you're looking for a sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none. Stop in today at their location on Fitch Hatchery Road and lease a 2026 Honda CR-V EXL for as low as $385 per month. Or browse their vehicle selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement, with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
I was afraid that college would be like high school. I worried about starting over and feeling alone. But I'm so glad I didn't let that stop me. At Madison College, I'm part of a community, and I've never felt alone. My instructors have been incredible, and I've made so many friends and connections. My advice to others, don't let your fears stop you. There's more to your story at Madison College.
Visit madisoncollege.edu to get started.
Grab some friends, purchase tickets, and get to the Sylvie in Madison on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for the UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Visit AndyNorthAndFriends.com to buy your tickets for this event at the Sylvie on February 24th. The event has sold out quickly in past years, so get your tickets now.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns, it's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
'Tis the season to be planning your holiday events. Whether it's a party for 10 or 10,000, Celebrations has the sound, video, lighting, special effects, and custom-themed decor to make it the best party ever. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With us on your team, your holiday or New Year's party will be easy to plan and super fun to attend. DJs, casino games, lighting, and photo booths are just the beginning at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your family's safety is your responsibility, and it starts with a solid roof. When the next storm rips through and takes some of your shingles with it, call Badgerland Exteriors. Or looking to replace your whole roof but don't want to break the bank? Let the team at Badgerland Exteriors give you a free, no obligations estimate.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning process, we've got you covered. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Thanksgiving football. It's the Packers versus the Lions.
You can take them out of the division race if you beat them Thursday.
Get ready and react with Green Bay Game Day and Game Night, kicking off at 9 a.m. on ESPN Madison.
And a handoff up the middle. It's a big play. McConowitz, he's at midfield. One man to beat. They're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Reedsburg. Will McConowitz, 80 yards for the score.
That was Lance Davis on the call of our coverage of the state tournament games or state championship games at Camp Randall on Friday, as we're now joined by the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz. Calvin, thank you so much for taking the time and joining the show this evening, and your team coming up just short in this Division III championship game to Grafton, 17-15. So I wanted to start with, we see after the teams lose, they show it on the TV broadcast of, yourself talking to the team. What was your message to the guys there after this championship game?
The main message was just to be proud of themselves. They obviously, that's a very disappointing end when you're a few seconds or a few feet away from being state champs, but it's important to look at the big picture and how far these guys have come. It's about a whole lot more than just one game necessarily.
And talk about this senior class. So I saw a post that Travis Wilson had, with his sons on the team, and they did in eighth grade and freshman year, and some of them had to get called up early, and to be able to walk off the field with those guys. There were no losers in that game. It just ran out of time, basically.
Yeah, it's one of those things where someone unfortunately didn't win. Hats off to them. They played great and they made the plays at the end. But yeah, the seniors, to overcome everything, they've never had a whole lot of success playing football, and for them to stick it out and put in all the work again. A lot of kids, when things are tough, especially nowadays, they'll go find something else to do. And these guys put in the time, they put in the effort, not just in the weight room and the speed training stuff, but doing our leadership stuff and building the program that way as well. So yeah, just really proud of their efforts.
Now I know, Coach, a lot of times when we talk to other football coaches, they talk about it isn't just about what happens out on the field when you're a high school coach. It's about what these guys go on and do afterwards. So with these seniors, could you just, if like what some of these guys are going to be doing for school next year, or like where they'll be going, kind of things like that?
Well, I think right now for a lot of them, they're still in that kind of process. I think there's, a few of them that are still hoping to get the opportunity to play some football somewhere. Some of them know what they're going to do. We got one of our guys. He's going to go drive a dump truck. So we got a few guys who know, but I think a lot of them are still just trying to figure it out right now.
When you look at this one, Will McConowitz, what he did for you guys this season, he deserved to be in a showcase at Camp Randall. And I was part of the stats crew for that game, and it was like we were calling his number all the time. And I guess what was the best part of watching his development over 4 years?
A lot. I mean, I've been telling people he's when he was a sophomore, he was 5'9", 160 pounds. So to watch him grow up. I feel like every time I see him, he's bigger and taller. So it's been kind of crazy. Like I told him this year, because when he was the quarterback, I've always had to look down at him when I was telling him the plays. But now this year, I was looking up at him. But really, really proud of him as a leader as well. Just how far he's come. He between the third and fourth quarter, he grabbed the offense and. He had a few words for them about how this game was going to end. So his leadership's been one of the funner things to watch grow too.
We're joined by the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, after their loss in the state championship game to Grafton, 17-15. Coach, I was wondering, have you or will you go back and watch the game?
I don't know. Probably maybe. I have not yet. We haven't even uploaded it yet. I might at some point. I think we bought the digital version maybe sometime when I retire or something like that. I'll probably go back and watch the actual film at some point to break it down and look at tendencies and stuff like that. But it's going to be a while.
2008, I was at Camp Randall, and Reedsburg went for 2. Didn't get it.
Yep.
Came back, won the state title the next year. So as you guys are going down the stretch, I'm telling the story of, well, what do you do in this situation? You went for it and you got it, and they had to make a play at the end to snatch it away. But what was the call, and was there any discussion ahead of time if you were in this situation, or was this the guy said, no, winners want the ball, we want the ball, we want to go for it?
I'm pretty notorious for going for 2. My first game at Reedsburg, we went for 2 in the win at the end of the game against Evansville. We did take the timeout. We were supposed to line up in our swinging gate and see if we could get in that way, because we've got a few 2-point conversion plays out of that. But took the timeout, and I think the boys thought we were going to kick the extra point, and they made it very known that they did not want to kick the extra point, and I had no intentions of doing that. It was just about making sure we had the right play, the right formation to get Will in the end zone.
As for your team now, when do you start kind of looking to next season, talking to the guys that are going to be coming back next year about the planning for next season? Like, how do you let a game like this kind of breathe for them?
We haven't really talked much about it. I mean, I haven't, I guess, specifically talked to them. They have talked to me, obviously, being in school the last 2 days. I teach weight training. I teach weight training and leadership. They definitely have already established what their goal is for next year. For some of those guys, getting a lot of young guys playing out there. We got a lot of really good freshmen too that are like, next time I'm here, I want to be on the field playing. So they're pretty fired up already for the future. So as far as playing and workout stuff, and we lift during the day during school, but any extra stuff we'll start in January.
A lot of multiple sport athletes on this team too, so I'm sure you have to make that switch over to winter sports. But when you look back on this season, the semifinal win to get to state, that's the one where, talking to other coaches, we know we're going to get a ball, so that's always big. But any time during this season that you really think this was the switch that flipped and said that we were going to be playing for a gold ball?
I don't think so. Like, not any like specific point. We set that goal, like I said before, last year when we left the field against Catholic Memorial. It was more about just getting the guys to understand some of the little things that they have to do. And I know after we lost to Logan in overtime, we sat them down and it's like, hey, this is a group that if we come together, we do a few of these little things differently, we get into the playoffs. We're a really hard team to stop with our offense, just because it's so different. Our conference prepares for us, but I don't think at any point in time really during the season did we really not believe that we could do it.
Yeah, 4-3. You're going, let's just win out, right? It was the atmosphere or the thought, why not us, right? All these other teams going, why can't we win? So was that kind of that belief that you felt?
I think some of the guys definitely had that belief. They were writing it on their eye black and stuff like that. So it was definitely a mindset amongst the kids for sure.
One last question for you here, Coach. Besides anything that your guys accomplished out on the field, what are you most proud of from this version of the Reedsburg football team this year?
It's just a really good group of kids. It's one, that when you're you're getting ready for that last week of practice. It's one where you're like, I'm gonna miss just spending time with them, and the little conversations and stuff like that. But it's just a really, really good group of guys to be around. They're a fun group and stuff like that.
Well, Coach, thank you for taking the time to join us, and good luck next year. And hopefully we're having this same conversation this week next year, but you've got a gold ball sitting next to you.
Hopefully, we'll see what we can do.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
That was the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers, Calvin Zenz, joining us here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. And just always a tough spot. But again, like you said, Dennis, Grafton, they made those couple of plays there, and they were literally inches away from that field goal that they hit to win the game, from it hitting the upright or even the crossbar, really.
35-yard field goal, so they got to the 18, about approximately. And, everything has got to go right. The snap, the hold, and if it drifts, I've seen so many games where kickers have wide left. We saw it with the Badgers on Saturday. So, we saw that too with the Wanakee Arrowhead game, knowing that, okay, Arrowhead at the kicker, he can kick from 50, it's going to be a 50-yarder and in. But you're just, you feel for the defense. They bend, but they don't break. And then what do you do with 6 seconds left? There's just no time to do much. But to see where they were, 4-3 at one time to go through the playoffs. And the semifinal win, I thought that was huge for them, getting there. And then they played they had the ultimate playmaker in McConowitz. But that was a solid team. And again, with the offense, like he said, when you do certain things during the season, your conference teams knows you pretty well. But you can't wait we can play others, which is why I think with this matrix, we're not playing like, okay, now we're playing
like a
tournament. Yeah, right. Hey, we just played them during the season. When you got to repeat, like in basketball, you might get 2 or 3 teams you've already played. No, when you get to play somebody else, that preparation time is so short. And for that offense they run. I mean, that's why Wanakee for years would have problems with Reedsburg, because that was the only time they would see that offense. And they ran it to perfection. And Coach Zenz, also a newborn. He had his first child this past fall. So it's been a pretty cool time for him. But I just hope he can get some sleep now, and knowing that they left it all on the field. There's nothing more you could ask for. They went for 2, and they got it. The other team just made one more play.
Exactly. As again, Reedsburg losing to Grafton 17-15 in the Division III championship game. I mean, Dennis, that does it for recapping all 7 of our championship games. This was such a good 7 games of high school football, and I think it really, if you were to take all 7 of these games and package them up and send them to somebody from Ohio who's never seen high school football from Wisconsin, I'd be really proud of the product that we saw on the field from all of these different teams, all the different players. We had plays on all 3 phases of the game in this state tournament. We had offenses that could throw the ball, run more quote-unquote modern offenses. You have the typical Wisconsin wing T offenses that seem to dominate in the postseason. It had it all, and they all played incredibly well.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this was my 41st state tournament, and out of all those, we're never going to forget Dave Poles hugging his son when Lodi went unbeaten to win it. I watched all of Pat Rice's teams at Wanakee. 1995, I go back to Sun Prairie winning state, and that's where I started my radio career, knowing a lot of those coaches and the community, people in the community. This was the best tournament from 7-1. We had no running clocks. Like we mentioned earlier, Edgar was getting close, but they fought back. We had game-winning kicks. We had a game-winning kickoff return for a touchdown. The only thing we didn't have was Jesse Nelson's coveted safety. Sorry. That was about the only thing we didn't get to see in this.
Yeah, because we had a pick 6. We didn't have a scoop and score. We had a blocked kick that led to a 6 thick. Or a thick 6. I don't know. Owen started laughing at me, our producer. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. My brain just stopped working there. A thick 6. Yeah, we just didn't get the scoop and score off of a strack, and then the safety were the only 2 ways of scoring that we didn't see in this state tournament. So we've got to wait another, 8 months here until we get high school football back. I mean,
football coaches say it's always football season.
I mean, it is, but for you and I, Dennis, we won't start doing things until the summer. I'm sure there will be some new coaches or things like that.
We'll be talking to coaches in the spring because we always bring the new coaches on in our shows.
Exactly.
But we'll start our prep back in early June, looking at our tentative schedule. And
so I'm going to put you on the spot here, Dennis, as we finish up our high school. We're going to wrap up our high school football season kind of coverage and conversation in the next segment, but I'm going to give you the break to think about this, Dennis, and when we come back, I want your answer here, okay? You ready for this?
Okay.
What area team, and I mean Dane County area team, besides Wanakee, because I'm not going to give you the cop-out, do you think has the best chance of going to Camp Randall next year? The Dean's going to answer that after the break here on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
More of Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly coming up next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. Looking for new windows and doors? Visit sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Staying on Wisconsin sports never stops with the Jump Around podcast.
If you do decide to go with Carter Smith, as you mentioned too, this is the guy that they flipped from Michigan. Is he a finished product? Is he a polished product? Not exactly, but also it's like, this kid looks like he can sling the pill already as a true freshman. I know that he came in with a lot of high praise, but why not give fans some excitement right now? Why not do this? Why not just do it now?
The Jump Around podcast with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias, streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
Madison's financial challenges need a Dane County-based bank. Starion Bank is a full-service community bank that delivers quality big bank services with a local approach. We are proud to be there for any budding entrepreneur or small businesses. helping them exceed their financial goals from banking to lending to cash management. Visit a banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, taking you farther.
Axe Game Week is here.
The longest ongoing rivalry in college football.
It's Wisconsin at Minnesota this Saturday. Get ready for kickoff and react with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light, starting at 12:30 on ESPN Madison.
Continuing on Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. Again, a big thank you to Calvin Zenz, the head coach of the Reedsburg Beavers. I know it wasn't easy coming on and talking about a game that he lost, especially a state championship game like that, but we really appreciate his time, as well as we have the Division I champion coach, Matt Harris from Arrowhead, who joined us in hour one of the program. If you missed any of those, you can watch it back on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, or you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcast. Just search for PrepMania on that. You'll see all of our past shows. That's where you can also listen back to any of these state championship games that we did. We have all 7 of them on YouTube and on the ESPN Wisconsin app. So all of those highlights you heard as we recap those, you can hear the entire game broadcasts on there. As this is Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. Madison College has been around for over 100 years right here in our community. They've grown to 7 campuses all across south central Wisconsin, including 3 in Madison. Whether you're starting fresh or leveling up your career, Madison College is here for you. Learn more at madisoncollege.edu. That's madisoncollege.edu. Dennis, before the break, I put you on the spot and I asked you which school besides Wanakee, because we know what to expect from that Wanakee program and Chris Graverson and everything that they have going on there, but what Dane County, Madison area school do you think has the best chance of getting to Camp Randall next year? So you listed off in that break a couple of schools. You broke the rule right away and you listed off Wanakee, so we got to take them off. I know.
No, what I did was, let's take a look at the conferences, okay? Big 8, it's going to be Verona. It's going to be Middleton. Now they got to replace Joey Pasaglia, who's been a great quarterback, who's going to be playing basketball this winter. Spoiler alert.
Ooh.
I can't wait to see Joey out there. He's a great athlete. Madison Memorial's coming back. West. I mean, there'll be some good competition there. You look at the Badger Small. That whole conference gets, we switch conferences and teams next year, but I think Edgewood's always going to be right there, and Mount Horeb Barneveld. That's a team that I think they got to get past Catholic Memorial. Until then, they're not going to be at Camp Randall. You look at the Badger Large, again, Wanakee. Milton had a great season this year. I think under Coach Prawl, they're really headed in the right direction. And as long as Coach Kaminsky's at Sun Prairie East with Coach Bass, they're going to be there. But it's got to be a team that we actually have a conference that we don't cover, the Mississippi Valley.
Yeah.
It's got to be Reedsburg. And now, first of all, one of the things I want to do is thank all the coaches we're able to reach out to that I chatted with for our pregame notes, for our interviews, getting talked West of Pier and Germantown and Homestead. Mm-hmm. You're looking at Arrowhead, all these great programs. And talking to Coach Zenz when I called him up, he had to be quiet. He had his newborn.
Yeah.
And then he had to make sure he checked with his wife on who had baby duty tonight before he joined us on the show. But what Coach Zenz has done there, he mentioned coming into this championship game, how many sophomores they're playing on both sides of the ball, and how many the freshman class that's coming in, and they've already established gold ball next year. 2008, they went for 2 and missed, but came back and won the next year. This year, they had the 2-point to win, and they got beat by field goal. I think a team that's been there has a chance to come back and repeat the next year. You got to replace the McConowitz, but in that offense, they'll find somebody, I think, to step in. Maybe might not be the impact player on both sides, but this is where you never replace a superstar like Wanakee and McCoy Smith, who was our profile tonight. How do you replace a guy like that? You don't. You find other guys to bring something else to the program. Yep. But Reedsburg's my team to watch out, Camp Randall, and maybe getting a chance to go back. Maybe I'll put it, if they make state next year, I want to call that one.
Okay, you're putting in the request already for that one. I'll have to try and remember that for next year. Yeah, I really like that pick, and it's like the old NBA cliche, they call it, but you have to lose one to win one. Sometimes it's just a school or a program or a team, they have to see what it's like to get that close first, and then they understand, like, oh, I have to do even more to actually get over the hump. I thought what I was doing was enough this past year. It clearly wasn't. I need to do even more next year.
It's like Wanakee losing on the last-second field goal. I thought they got to state. They had a chance to win it. Reedsburg got it, and they were in position. 6 seconds to go. A foot. It's so close. And, again, that was just a great – we got to see some great players like a McConowitz on that stage, and you want to see the best players. In the past, we've had the All-State. We don't have that committee anymore now. And this would be a week we'd be looking at how many of those guys we saw that we got to see. You got to see the best players. Cream rises to the top.
Yep.
And we saw some awfully good players. And I can't wait for next year already. We had such a great year. I can't believe we're done with week 14.
Oh, I know. And as we're wrapping up Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly and our football version of the show, one of the things that we talked about after this Division I game with you and I, as well as Coach Andrew Riley of Verona, was, and I wanted to bring it on here, was the idea of we had 2 big changes this year for high school football in the state of Wisconsin. For those that don't know, for the first time this summer, they had unlimited contact days. So what that means is there used to be a very limited number of days where coaches could interact with their players, and it was literally just, yes, Dennis, 5 contact days. So that could mean Coach Zenz, if he interacted with Will McConowitz in a way of talking about his football game at all. That's 1 contact day just for him talking to a player. They opened that up. You could now watch film with your quarterback. You could go and do 7-on-7s and have instructions on things. I know some schools even did some football 101 for their freshmen coming in, so that way then they know how much is an extra point, how much is a touchdown, what's a first down. So they literally know the basics of football to be able to help their guys be better prepared. We also saw the playoff matrix, a new way of getting teams into the postseason, so we already knew going into the start of the year who was in what division, and then based on the wins that you got in the season and the strength then of those victories, you got points. The more points you had, the higher ranking you were within the playoff matrix. So of those 2 things that we saw this year, which one of those, Dennis, do you think had the bigger impact on the high school football season?
I think the matrix, the slam dunk. A number of the coaches I talked to said they had the extra contact days, but you got kids in multiple sports. You want them to be kids in the summer. They couldn't start demanding now they got 3 or 4 days of practice. What they did was after a weight training, they could spend maybe 30 minutes going over with the offensive lineman on technique or having some special teams out there. Or they could, again, now go to 7-and-7 and see something and mention to their quarterback or have a brief chat. I mean, those contact, like you said, it would have been contact days now. But the matrix, we knew it was more transparent. You have a team like a Madison Memorial that was 4-5 a year ago. They would have been in the playoffs. This year, beating the 4 bottom feeders in the Big 8 doesn't get you in. You needed one more win, and they knew that going in.
Yep.
So he said it hurts, but it was transparent. Now, a team like a Monona Grove that lost to Wanakee by a point in overtime, they don't get anything for that. So they're saying, is there some way we can tweak it? But for anything to work, and I talked to Coach Tim Simon Middleton at basketball practice yesterday. He's also a basketball JV coach and assistant varsity. He says, but you got to be careful on tweaking, but usually it's 2 or 3 years, see how it works out.
Yeah.
And maybe in some level 3 or 4 games there might have been some mismatches, but take a look at the state championships. 6 of the 7 divisions are 14-0 teams. The one that wasn't was Arrowhead. They were 13-1. Their one loss was 4 points, close game to Muskego that made the state semifinals.
Yep.
So you had the best of the best, I thought, getting there in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why this felt like the best state championships that we've had in a long time at Camp Randall, from top to bottom. There's been some incredible games. I mean, Arrowhead and Kimberly had some awesome games. I mean, Franklin played in a bunch of awesome championship games. Like, we've seen these great games.
Muskego's run, getting to see the first time people got to see Hunter Wooler on the state stage as a sophomore. was amazing. I go back and then to the 1995 Sun Prairie where they were playing basically on ice. Mm-hmm. And our most valuable player, our player of the year that year, had 3 catches in that game, but he drew 3 personal or penalties for pass interference. So you remember these little things, throwing snowballs out there, having 40 and 50 degree weather. It's never been this good. Anything over 20 is usually good. Well, and then it was, again, we got it done before deer hunting season, so all the deer hunters were happy.
Now, the only thing I would say for the unlimited contact days having a bigger impact than the playoff matrix was I think a lot of these teams would have still made deep runs into the playoffs. But I think a school, like a team like a West Appear, who runs a more modern, sophisticated, pass-heavy offense, they were able to hit the ground running and get themselves going early, where they maybe would have dropped a game during the early parts of their season because their offense wasn't rolling quite the same way. So I think we saw more of that. We saw better play early in the year, which then has an impact because of where you're seated then in the playoffs.
Right, and we also had an advantage for first-year coaches who maybe wouldn't have 5 contact days, and now you're starting. They had 2 or 3 months to build relationships, and that's key.
Yep.
It's not necessarily the X's and O's, but it's building those relationships right with the kids. And we talked to a number of coaches that went through that this year, and I thought that was a benefit. So both of those were great. I'll still stick with the matrix because I think it helped us get a better state tournament.
I think I'm also partial to the unlimited contact days because I think this is something that with states like Florida and Texas, they've had unlimited contact days for decades at this point.
They also have spring football, though, which I'm glad we don't.
They're also able to have
honest.
spring football. But those kids, when they come out of high school, because they have so much coaching from the actual coaches, their football IQ is definitely in a better place than a lot of the kids that are coming out of the state of Wisconsin. Now, there are obviously kids that are just different because they're just like, I am a football hardo. This is all I want to do. This is all I focus on. I just eat and breathe football. But we talk about how many of these kids are 3-sport athletes. Having these unlimited contact days, I think, are going to help them over the long run develop into much smarter and more savvy football players, which will help them then on the recruiting side. So I'm really partial to that because I think this is going to be a huge benefit just to every single athlete out there having that ability to consume football and get coached in football much more.
Yeah, and now if we only could get this for basketball in the
we're not going there until our next segment, as we will talk and preview the basketball seasons coming up.
I had to throw it out there.
I know, Dennis. I will go on plenty of rants about the ridiculous nature of not having a shot clock and how much that hurts the game in the state of Wisconsin. We've got plenty of time for that.
By the way, did you get Jesse Norris's zing during his about the lights?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Way to go, Coach.
Yes, he needed to do that, and I'm proud of him for doing that. Coming up next here on Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly, as I said, we're going to start turning the page ahead to our basketball season. Girls' games have started. Boys' games started tonight. So we're going to preview the basketball season and look at some of the teams or some of the players to watch out for from the area in basketball, as this is Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly.
You're listening to Zenz Honda's PrepMania Weekly, breaking down more from this week in area high school sports next on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Hear that creaking? That's not the cold Madison wind or your holiday decorations. It's your joints reminding you the year's almost over. At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, you can use your end-of-year health benefits before they disappear. From an achy back and stiff hips to those knees that aren't bending like they used to, they've got you covered with same-day appointments and walk-ins welcome. Head to their location just off the Beltline whenever you need. Don't wait, your benefits won't roll over, but you can roll right into Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin today.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Kringle, all I want for Christmas is you.
Dad!
What?
We talked about this. Yeah, your jingle for your Kringle entry last year was so lame that Racine Danish Kringle banned you from their contest.
I thought it was only a one holiday season ban.
It was a lifetime ban.
Well, I guess I'm out, but here's how you can enter our ESPN Wisconsin Racine Danish Kringle Jingle for Your Kringle contest on Wilde and Tausch. Submit your own original jingle to ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Then we'll pick the most creative songs, and our grand prize winner will get Kringle for a year. Make sure you include Racine Danish Kringle. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition in your jingle. If you don't want to sing, but you still want to celebrate the holidays with Racine Danish Kringle, call 800-4DANISH or visit Kringle.com and order their all-new flavor, Peppermint Brownie Kringle.
Racine Danish Kringle, such a tasty, yummy treat with a flaky crust and sweet icing. It's the best thing you can eat.
Oh, like that's so much better than mine.
Well, at least we're not off key.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to senior NBA writer at The Ringer, Howard Beck. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Wrapping up Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly, I'm Hunter Vaughn. With me, the Dean of Area High School Sports, Dennis Semrau. For more than 50 years, Zimbrick Honda has provided the Madison area with quality Honda vehicles. The trusted staff of Zimbrick Honda's used car dealership will save you time and reduce your car buying stress by finding the vehicle that matches your style. If you're looking for a new or maybe even a used Honda, visit Zimbrick Honda just off the Beltline in Madison or online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local, shop Zimbrick Honda. Quickly wrapping up Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly here, Dennis. Looking ahead, can you just give a team or two for the boys and the girls side of basketball? Some teams to watch out for we think could maybe make a deep run. I know there's a couple of city schools for the boys side that are looking really good if they can stay healthy.
Well, it's great. Unlike football, Madison Memorial, Madison La Follette are both, I think, going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Keep an eye on West with their new second-year coach. East is kind of up in the air right now. I think take a look. Wanakee is going to be strong again. Lake Mills,
and
it's been the state.
Yep.
and the McFarland, and we can't forget Mount Horeb with Josh with Manchester.
Yep. And then what about the girls' side? I know Wanakee made a deep run last year.
Tessa Bryan is back. She was first-team All-State last year. And then you look at Verona. Again, there's another one, Allison Jersa, was an All-State player. Anna Miller from Edgewood. We've talked about Edgewood.
Yep.
Her and Beanie Thompson, as freshmen, carried this team. Now they're juniors. They still got two full seasons.
I know.
Incredible. And I think Edgerton's a team to keep an eye on, both boys and girls sides, too, kind of in our fringe area. But Edgewood boys, new coach, so we're not sure there. But Edgewood girls, if you asked me that question for football, best chance to get to state. Girls, Edgewood.
Absolutely.
Boys, Lake Mills again.
Oh, see, I'm a big fan of Steve Collins, not just because we have him on our state coverage, but I think
they got a
Phillips
shot.
Memorial with the Ligon brothers, I think they are going to be a dangerous team in Division I.
Yeah, they're going to have to get their way through, and then they got to get through the Milwaukee area schools to get out of the sectional. That's the problem.
Yep.
When you got to go up against the Arrowheads of the world, and
or potentially, I haven't looked at the sectionals, but like a West Allis is going to be really good this year, Germantown. So there's some really good teams from that area that they could run into. That does it for our Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly. We're going to take a few weeks off here of the show with the holiday and everything, but then we'll come back and we will be all basketball through the spring, taking you all the way up to the Kohl Center
and
for
a little bit of wrestling and hockey.
Yeah, and then we'll talk some wrestling and some hockey, maybe some boys swimming as well. We'll talk all things winter sports, primarily basketball, though, when we come back. This has been Zimbrick Honda's PrepMania Weekly on ESPN Madison.
The team at Midwest Financial Group are values-based financial specialists that offer full-service financial solutions. This local independent firm has been dedicated to helping people achieve their financial, tax, and insurance goals for over 30 years. Visit mfgteam.com to learn more about how they can help